is all set up to go live, and my tripod broke. My camera mount ring light. My ring light broke. It just completely went flop. Um, it's still just kind of barely hanging in here. So if you fall face first into the rocks, I apologize. Um, I just decided to wire wrap it since I couldn't. It wouldn't stand up on its own anymore. So let me clean up that mess really quick. Put away my wire wrapping tools, and we'll get right into this. All right. And good morning and happy coffee time to you, or afternoon, or whatever it is, wherever you are. Glad you could join us. Just one more second here as I'm getting set up. We're going to talk about some viewer requested rocks, and then I've got some extremely exciting new finds. At least hi Soul, good morning. At least I hope they're exciting new finds. I was pretty tickled when I found this fossil. All right, I think I'm ready to go here. Yeah, I know. Pardon me. I call it morning coffee and rock chat. It is morning still here in Montana, but boy, just barely. It's like 10:41 now. I was ready to go just a minute ago, but like I say, my tripod went kerplop, so I had to get creative and figure out a way to make it stand up. Wire to the rescue. Yeah, okay, so um I'm most excited about this. This is a brand new find. So let's just start there. I don't know what kind of fossil that is, but it's amazing. Yeah, it's my day off from my job that pays the bills, so I'm in no hurry to get anything done today except this, hanging out with everybody. I like the way this piece comes up the side of this rock too, not just sitting here in the bottom. And once I got it home and had a really good look beyond the obvious, there are some little pits. Come on, focus. And things where you can see where other little fossils have been. I don't see other fossils in this rock, just the prints of where they were, like maybe one right there as well. Kind of flashy right there. But yeah, this, when I found this, and it was the first rock I found on that adventure that day, I was like, woohoo. Pretty dang thrilled. All right, moving on. Like I say, I'm pretty excited about that one. What next? This? I can't honestly remember who requested to see the glacier rocks. If it was a J name, it was Jenny or Jackie. Somebody. I had mentioned once that I had rocks from the glacier in Alaska, and they were like, "Boy, I'd like to see that." And I was like, "Well, look at them someday." And then I forgot that she asked. It wasn't too long ago. So this one in hand is almost just a little bit like a blue-green color. It's got some sparklies in it. It's a cute little thing. And this one almost sparkles kind of like a schist might. Oof, the focus there for a second. So the story behind these rocks is my ex went on a trip up to Alaska, and he asked if I wanted any kind of souvenirs or anything from up there, and I was like, yeah, I want a rock. You're going to the glacier that he visited was the Mendenhall Glacier. And I was like, yeah, I want a rock from like right at the mouth of the glacier where it's spitting out all of the debris that it's picked up and carried along the way. Pick me up a rock from right there, or two. So he's not a rock hound. He's not a rock guy at all. It probably felt really weird for him to walk along and look at rocks on the ground and then bend over and pick one up and put it in his pocket. And when he actually remembered to do that and came back with a couple of rocks from the glacier, I was like, yay! I couldn't believe he actually remembered me. And I was like, I had so many questions. What did they look like? What kind of rocks were they? He's like, I don't know. They all look the same. And to him, I'm sure they all did look the same. Like I say, he's not a rock guy. See if I can get you guys even closer. They all just looked like rocks to him. So, like I say, they're not the prettiest thing I've seen, or anything you'd walk into a gift shop and pick out for yourself. But those are genuine Mendenhall Glacier rocks from Alaska. Bootlegged down. I probably shouldn't say that too loud. I'll probably get in trouble. I don't know if that's okay or not, but I mean, I don't think we're hurting anything. We got a couple little average rocks from the glacier. What next? I'm going for this one. Jeff's not here, but I picked this up the other day thinking about Jeff. I usually don't keep a lot of septarians, but this one was kind of odd. Like this whole side, I don't know. I just wondered, sometimes in our septarians there can be fossils, and when this was very dirty and out in the field, I wondered. So I picked it up and brought it home and cleaned it up. This huge chunk of aragonite, or it's probably calcite, really. Pardon my sniff. I've just never seen the crystals get quite so, I don't know, and especially when you light it up with the UV, they look like really well defined, super well formed crystals. This two chunks right here come down in there. And it's a banger under the light. It's still pretty dirty, and I'm always kind of hesitant to go scrubbing on them. This side is especially dirty, and I honestly, uh-oh, that's wiggling like a loose tooth. There, that's junk. I honestly don't know if I can get this junk off of here or not, so probably we'll just call that the bottom, and this the top. There's a whole heck ton of sunlight and light happening in here right now, but see if we can get any kind of, oh yeah, we're seeing it pop a little, and then all of this does as well. All I see right now is the filth off of the towel or whatever I dried it with, but these two big crystals are popping in my camera, at least. So yeah, I was thinking about Jeff when I picked that up. That wasn't a viewer requested stone necessarily, but he cannot say no to a Septarian, and I cannot blame him. The other viewer requested rock was actually requested by accident. Boot Jalokia was asking to see Rufo's he was calling it mica schist actually, but when Rufo showed him later that day the schist, it was actually a garnet schist. But he accidentally was asking me in the chat if I would show him my schist later, and I was like, well, I don't know if I have any mica schist, and I don't know if it's really worth looking at, but I'll certainly show it. So hang on just a second. I've got my coffee in my hand. I want to take a sip. And then I admitted that I don't bring home a lot of schist. And he said, maybe I should? That sometimes it's beautiful when it's polished. And I bet it is. And I'm certainly no expert, so if this is not schist, please correct me, but I'm pretty certain. And this is a, material that I found out here on the prairie. I find quite a bit of this. Like I say, I just don't really bring a lot of it home. But yeah, isn't the fun thing about schist that it's, kind of shiny and pretty? It is really kind of pretty. And I don't know, it's texturally quite lovely. Okay, all right, we're getting into it now. Sorry, going out the deep end a little, getting in love with schist. Thanks. Thanks, fellas. Thanks, Bahoot and Rufo for getting me all into that. This, I'm not sure if we would call this gypsum, selenite, or a mica. Sometimes I have a little bit of trouble determining what's what. Now, to me, mica, growing up out here on the prairie, mica is more like some of this in these bags that's like flat, and if you squeeze it hard between your fingers even, it'll like flake and turn into like little paper thin little things, little sheets, films. That to me is mica. So, but this piece is interesting. Rufus had me on a phosphorescent wow, all of a sudden I can't say that word. Phosphorescence kick lately. Good morning. And this piece actually phosphoresces. We're not going to see it on the film today with all of the big bright light, but take my word for it, it does. So that was kind of interesting. I might go try to pick up some more of that. I've got lots of gypsum, fishtail gypsum and things like that, but none of it fluoresces, let alone phosphoresces. So that was kind of just an interesting little local find that since we were talking about mica on accident and schist, I thought I'd show a few examples of what I find out here on the prairie. So prairie rocks, we've looked at some of those. We looked at the glacier rocks, and then this is, like I say, this is what I would call mica. Let's see, I'll grab this piece. This is what I would call mica. And like I say, to me, mica has this flakeability. And I'm making that word up right now. Flakeability. Oops, focus. And like I say, if you run your finger across that, you should be able to just continually get more and more of that to come off. You peel it apart with your fingers, you should be able to get pieces of it, right? So growing up on the prairie, that to me is mica. No matter what color, this is kind of more a gold color than I usually find out here. Mine is more usually kind of a silver color. So this came out of a bag of like pay dirt stuff that you can mine. And I'm not sure where it came from. I think it's a Montana material, but I just am not super certain. My significant other picked that up for us all to go through together, and it was a blast. But we dumped some of the leftovers off of this when we were done picking through it and getting everything out of it that we wanted out in his driveway. And there's like a big spot in his driveway that just glistens in the sun. It's kind of funny. This material has been, I kind of didn't know what to do with it. I've got a bunch of it bagged up. There's a flig in there. There, sorry about that noise. I've got a bunch of this bagged up. I was just gonna kind of give it away in some of my orders and stuff. It's kind of fun. And there's different stuff in these. Like, let's just have a look at some of this stuff because it's actually really fun. And then I've used some of this stuff to make some of my paper lately, and we'll have a quick look at that too in just a second. So some of these are like really kind of cool. They're like little flowers or desert flowers or florets or kind of neat little specimen pieces. Be a cute little addition to a little succulent or a house plant. Just stick him in the flower pot, or cute little guy on the windowsill or something. Anyway, I kind of like those shapely ones. And they're quite a bit tougher than some of the mica, what I would call mica in there. Oh, and then there's, let's get this little guy out. There's some of the so violent. Some of these little guys in that mix as well. And they're more like little dark little metal crystal guys, almost like a pyrite. And I kind of think those are cute and adorable as well. But how many of those can one person have, right? So I was going to kind of throw those in as goodies to orders, like I say. And then there's another kind of rock in this mix. Let me see if I can find one of these bags. Yeah. And they're like little glitter bombs. I love the sparkle too. And like I say, I didn't know what to do with all of this. So, but I threw it in my blender, in my Ninja, not a sponsor, and made paper out of it, and it's really cool. Okay. Yeah, this is, we're going to be glittering for a long time. Okay, it's not really sparkling on camera like it does in hand, unfortunately. I wonder if the out of focus thing would maybe work better intentionally out of focus so you can see it sparkle. Okay, it is so incredibly sparkly, this stuff is, but it also like gets on you. It's not a super compact material, so it's not like you would want to cab this or anything, right? But it's so incredibly glittery. And again, when I crush this up and put it in my paper, it's beautiful. I had to pull this one out to get to that. So let's look at this one really quick. This is like a quartz crystal with like a little mica Klingon, a little mica buddy sticking out of him. Kind of a crazy little combo there, huh? Couple different angles of viewing here. He's kind of a wild little guy. He's got some attitude. Anyway, okay. So yeah, like I say, I've got some just bags of this, and I was like, what in heaven's name am I going to do with all of this? There's a shapely little, like, rosy piece down there. Like I say, like kind of like that desert rose kind of shape, only sparkly and pretty. Excuse me. Let me slip this back in and seal this bag up really quick. And I got paper everywhere. Let's see if I can find it quickly, since I said we'd look at it. There it is. All right. It's all over. I can see one on the camera, like right over here somewhere, right there somewhere. I don't know. It's everywhere. Oh my goodness, there's a big flake of it. I knew it would be everywhere. It's okay. Here's some paper. I'll take it out. We'll look at it in just a second. Boy, that one's sparkly. Excuse me. My goodness. Frog in my throat this morning that I just can't get over. All right, we'll look at some of those. Yeah. Okay. So look at the piece in there. And this is out of some of this material. See any more good ones? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at some of those bad boys in there. I'm not sure that I put any of that little sparkle in that paper, but definitely some of the big mica in that one. When I started making the paper, I started keeping track of what I put in them, and now I just lost track. I was like, whatevs. There's mica, there's glittery rocks, there's all kinds of different things in them. Ooh, that one's real pretty. I love it. See, this is all recycled paper. In fact, the pink and the green color came from some of the kids' school notifications, like, attention, it's on a bright pink piece of paper, and your kid hopefully won't forget to give it to you. Here's an important announcement of what's happening at school right now. And then when it was all said and done, I was like, ooh, instead of throwing that in the garbage, I'm going to put that in my handmade paper. And it turned my paper the most beautiful, like, pink and green colors. And then some of this is recycled newspaper as well. I get the leftover newspapers that didn't sell, and I shred them up, add some rocks, and presto, ta-da, we've got handmade paper with rocks in it. And oh, I keep meaning to try a piece. I've got some super tiny sapphires, some Rock Creek sapphires, and I keep meaning to, yeah, I would love to sell paper. If you want to buy some paper, absolutely get in touch with me. My email is in my bio. We'll work something out. If you'd like to have some of this, I'd be more than happy to do something with you. Because I'm not artistic. I can barely write and make it look cute. So I'd love for somebody to be doing something with some of this. Make a tag to a gift bag, or make a thank you note, or, just to brighten your day, or, whatever your heart desires. Do something beautiful on it and frame it. I don't know. What the possibilities are endless, really. But yeah, I love that I was able to put to work some of this cool mica and, hey, Slim, and make something, useful out of it. And then, like I say, recycled materials too. Instead of throwing those newspapers out, I use them in the winter time too to help start my fires. So I wasn't necessarily just throwing them out, but how many newspapers can one girl use? Sometimes there's more than I can use in the fireplace. So this was an excellent, excellent project. I love being able to do something out of nothing. And again, I had so much of this stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to give it away. And I will, absolutely. You guys want some of this? Pay the shipping and handling. Or I'll include some with your paper or whatever, we'll work something out. But I've got rocks for everyone. We can all have rocks and paper and wonderful, fun stuff. All right. So, all you've missed out on so far, Slim, is we looked at the rocks from the glacier, from Mendenhall Glacier. Boot wanted to see some schist, so we looked at some schist that I've found. He and Rufo have some schist that looks like it came from the same place, and it's like loaded in garnets. We looked at a septarian for Jeff, and I'm gonna get a sip of coffee while we check this out one more time. Yeah, and my kids, Soul, my kids make my kids keep bees. My kids have a small apiary out at their grandma's ranch. And so they use some of their bee wax. And then again, like recycled cardboard boxes and things like that to make little fire starters for us. This is candle wax, but boom, that little puppy will start a fire. And they've made pine cone ones where they're dipped in wax, and they've sold some of that stuff at farmers markets alongside their honey and things like that. So yeah, we're all about being thrifty. Okay, the focus. Come on now. Check out this weird fossil I found, Slim. So let me see if I can find something pointy. All I see is a wire. How about we use the gold one since it stands up there? Okay, sorry about that. So if you look way in here, there's a spiky thing right there. There's a little connector thingy right there. There's a little connector thingy right there. And if I'm super careful, I bet you I can show you that. Can I get that? Nope. I'm going to break it if I try. That wire almost wants to go behind that little connecty guy. There's like a little cave back in there. But like, uh-oh, come on. Now it wants to focus on the wire. You got this, camera. There's a spiky guy right there and a spiky guy right there. Look, there's a spiky guy. Come on, focus. All right, we can do it. We can do it, camera. There it is. It's like, quit showing me so many angles. And maybe I could get it right. Oh, and by the way, I'll look for the other half of this. I looked vigorously for any other piece of this that might have broken off, and it was nowhere to be found. Okay. So the video, like I say, I found this just the other day and I'm just about done editing the video. I'm done actually editing the video. I just need to take some stills of some of the stuff that I found for the end reel. Excuse me. My nose and my throat today. I apologize. Now I'm gonna rut through a plastic bag. I don't know why I have these kind of separated out here. Like, are these not nice? No, I don't. I've got some of them wrapped up in a wash rag, and some of them are just in the bottom of this bag. Were these the ones I was planning on taking pictures of? No, because what the shit is... Oh, excuse me. What the... what is that? That might be a Rufo rock. That one might phosphorus. So, let's see. We'll look at those first. And let me get these out of the bag too, so we don't have to listen to this bag again later. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for all of the noise and violence. Okay. This is odd to me. Let's see if we can get it to focus. It's like bubbly. And like all of between the little bubbles is like this super fine, lacy, almost agate banding. It's just bizarro. I'm sure it's just some kind of quartz, but it's almost got kind of a blue purple hue to it too, which is and a bunch of junk that could come off with the acid, or you know, if you picked at it you could get it. But yeah, this one kind of blew my mind a little bit. I was like, I just don't understand the grain and the pattern in this. So it's here for further examination. Put it up here. This is quartz. I don't know. I liked the pattern. So it's I brought it home honestly just to add out to the garden, and this one as well. Just garden rocks. Okay, so we're getting that out of the way. Here's a quartz, rose quartz. It looks white on my camera. That's weird. It's pink. Put something actually white next to it. Does it look pink? Pinker. That's weird. Oh, there it was. There. There's kind of your pink hue. Since I have my coffee. What's that? Ooh, this is cool. This has got all kinds of like fossil-y things happening in it. How cool would that be polished up? Just that face. But the whole rest of the inside of it is chock full as well. Just that's the most interesting face to look at right there. I even see a little bit of like sparkle in it. Anyway, okay, that's a weird one. And this is a weird one too. I'm not sure what to make of it. What got me excited was all of the like detail in between all of these little bands. Don't know. I don't know what it is. Is it just a banded jasper? Is it a pet wood? I'm not super sure. We'll go with jasper since I'm not sure. This one, I remember picking this up out in the field and saying, holy crap, it's hot. It was burning my hand after it had been baking out in the sun. I think it's a jasper as well, but I don't generally find that color, that pattern. Kind of a weirdo. So just because he was weird, I brought him home. Nothing really super interesting about that one. What is this dirty rock? It may be a petrified wood. I'm not sure. We need to get that a little cleaner. I can't promise that these are even halfway clean, by the way. I don't remember. Actually, I do remember kind of scrubbing that one a little bit, so maybe. I don't know what this is. Jasper, maybe? I probably should have left that one in the field, but I brought it home. That's a pet wood. And it's actually quite a pretty one. That wicked band right through it. All right, are we done looking at it? Should we look at another one now? That one's pretty. I like it. Oh, you guys, this one. Check that out. There. It's kind of a crappy, not very pretty host rock. But all of these little inclusions have got some attitude. That was worth bringing home just to have a closer look at, just so I can figure out what in the world is going on in that rock. I like it. What else is in here? Here's another just, probably should have left that one in the field. It's all right. But, yeah. I think I do remember kind of saying this wasn't the most thrilling day out rock hounding, but it was very peaceful. It's a beautiful day. So naturally it was hard to stop looking at rocks and stop picking things up, even if it was a little less than awesome sometimes. This one's fun. A little cutie. Oh, he's covered in the crud. But I like his spots. Kind of reminds me of some kind of fish pattern or something. All right. That's quartz for sure. Goodness, I just can't shake that little frog in my throat today. I mean, it's kind of purple, but probably wanted to have a closer look at that. Couldn't see it because it was dirty, and when I got home was like, whoa. This is cool. Look at all the banding in this. I would call this chert. Look at all of it right there. It's so pretty. Majority of that rock kind of unremarkable, but maybe if you cut it going this direction, you may get some of that pattern to continue through. And it looks like it's relatively fracture free, so you could probably get after that if you felt so inclined. I have a hardest time deciding sometimes if this is just brown jasper or if it's petrified wood, and that's a tricky, really tricky one. Like, I don't see any wood grain in that, so we're going with jasper. It's not even really a really great one at that. What's this? Same story? Yeah, and I'm on the dino bone hunt too, right? So anything that looks like it may have a bony appearance to it, or anything that may kind of stick to my tongue abnormally is coming home with me. There's a big piece of like gypsum or selenite, or I don't know. It must have had me curious when I was out in the field. That's odd. That thing is hard. Little bits of agate on the top there. I'm telling you, that stuff's hard. I like this super subtle little banding down through there. Uh-huh. All right, there's a rock. This is pretty. A little prairie agate. That's, I guess we could call it pretty. What did I get into? Dirt of some kind. Oh, here's just a couple little jasperity bits. Quartzite, maybe even. It's got a little druzy there that makes me say more quartz. All right, we're shuffling through those pretty quick. Sorry. Like I say, kind of a little bit of everything here. Kind of some leverites. I'm surprised that they're even as clean as they are. That one's cute. This one is weird. Oh, I can't even get a hold of the little bean. I'm not real sure what's happening there. So that requires another look with the loop. Speaking of small things, there's a little half of a fossil. And I've been avoiding it, but since we're talking about fossils. Hey Rufo, you're just in time to see this awesome coral fossil I found the other day. And I recorded like half of this junk that I found. I recorded this. I recorded this. I recorded this. And when I went back to review my footage, you know what I had? You know what I had on this? A still picture. And so is my life. The struggles are real. I think it's a big old coral. But what has it turned into? Because it's not really agatized. I mean, it's turned into stone. That's why it's called fossil. But it's almost like a purple, gray, mauve. It doesn't look it in this camera at all, but it's almost kind of a mauve-y color over there. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, I don't know. But I was pretty stinking tickled. I was all excited, thinking I was videoing it. You guys, look at it. It's so pretty. And out in the sun, like especially out in the sun, some of the color through here is phenomenal. And then I get home after I'm all, so excited and I'm putting together the video and all I have for this is a still picture. It's a nice in focus still picture, but still, that's not what I was after. Let's go back to this one while we're talking about fossils, because I found this one the same day. This was the first rock I found on this walk, by the way, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's a great day to be out on the prairie. And I'm sorry, Soul's probably about sick and tired of looking at this, but I think it's fascinating. Look at its little spikes. There's a spike there, there's a spike there, and then it turns into like lattice work up in there. It's just so cool. I mean, what part of it do you guys want to look at? Do you want to look at this part of it? Do you want to look at this part of it? This part of it? It's so hard with a flat screen to show you all of its cool parts. I'm glad, Soul, that I'm not just dragging you through this poor fossil every time. It's so cool, though. Hey, Al. Well, a lot of the rocks are here in my house, and I don't know if it's a stromatolite or what it is. A lot of rocks are here at my house, and there are still several outside in the field and in the dirt roads and things. I haven't collected them all yet. Jeff, since you're here, I picked this up thinking about you the other day. And I'm not gonna lie to you. There's another one. There's another whole nother bag of rocks that we'll look at on our next hangout that will be the next video. So we're, 2 videos or whatever behind. We're working on this one, and it'll come out today, tomorrow, hopefully. And then there's another one already in the bag, and then it's pretty kind of crummy here today. It's windy and threatening to rain. So I've always got one in the bag and one in the hat just in case I can't get out and get hounding. But this septarian has got this chunk in it right here. And yeah, or just let's talk about some shipping and we'll get you some of these, whatever's clever. But yeah, you've got some beautiful material, Jeff. I don't know if I'm worthy. My septarians are worthy of your material. Put this great big chunk in here. This is such a well-defined crystal formation in this septarian, and it is just phenomenal with the UV at night. The rest of it's quite stunning as well. I mean, there's so much calcite happening in here. The bottom of it's really, really filthy, and I don't know if it'll ever come clean. But that chunk in there, that crystal chunk is just so cool. It could really use some more cleaning. I just probably just rinsed it. I don't think I've scrubbed it at all. But yeah, holy moly, man, that thing. And it, like I say, it's stellar. Okay, back to the rest of the rocks we haven't looked at here. What is this? Is it even important? I think it's quartz. This was weird. Couldn't decide what in the heck this is. Wouldn't have even thought much of it except that. I don't know. It's a goofy one. Okay, yeah, Jeff. I'll look you up on the Discord. This is a piece of pet wood. It'd be a nice candidate for a tumbler if someone's into that. It's got a little bit of what you would call a grit grabber. That pocket there that's going to hold all your grit and screw up your tumbling. But if somebody was into that, I would just take that through my rock machine first on that end, clean that up a little bit, and then throw it in the tumbler. Let her rip, tater chip. Okie doke. Oh, it is so unfortunate that there's a chunk of scuzz on this, but look. Okay, come on, focus. Look at all the little fossils in that. Right above that little chunk, there's a little circle guy. This one would probably be better wet, and I don't have any water. That's unfortunate. There was one on the edge somewhere of this. Hang on, I'm going to look at it with my eyeball really quick. Yeah, it doesn't take too long as a rock hound to have a wide variety of stuff, right? I don't know. There's one up there. This is beautiful under the loop, guys, under the jeweler's loop. Oh, and Rufo, I don't know if you're still here. Yeah. We were talking about schist yesterday. And mine is not full of garnets like your guys's was, but this is This is a fine example of what you can find here on the prairie of Montana. And I have a rock out here that I find that is full of garnets. And I looked for like a half an hour before I started this live and I could not find one. This was the closest thing to an agate that I have found in like 4 or 5 hunts in a row. Come on, focus. Get my finger out of there, maybe. We're so close to having a focused image here. There we go. How pretty is that, you guys? Yeah, Jeff, and it's something that I don't bring a lot of home. And I don't bring a lot of those garnet rocks home either. I mean, it's kind of like pyrite. Like little kids look at it and they're like, oh my gosh, it's so sparkly and pretty. Sorry about my little kid voice there. But I've never picked one up and been like, dang, that's the hottest thing since sliced bread. I can't wait to bring that home. And I'm like, yeah, it's nice, but and the garnet rocks too. Our garnets in our garnet rocks are very small compared to some that were like in Rufo's schist. Look at it focusing all on its own. Anyway, I would boldly call that an agate. Maybe a milk agate, maybe even a jasp agate, but that is the agatiest thing I've found in a hot minute. So I was pretty excited. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4 small pieces of pet wood that someone could load into a tumbler. There's one. Ooh, that one's got some agate and stuff. Sorry, I'm not even showing you guys. I'm sorry. This was a wild little pet wood. Jasperized pet wood. Look at all the colors in that. Yellows, reds, oranges. I wish I'd find more big pieces with all of that booming color. Yeah, so you know, it's not very big, but I was like, oh, it's so colorful. I love the colors. That's just kind of a junky little quartz. I wondered in the field if this was a little coral fossil, and I'm still not real sure. If it is, it's not very nice. Ooh, what is that? A wood? Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, baby, that's a wood, all right. And that puppy is agatized. Woohoo! I hope that looking at rocks makes you want to get out. Go rock hounding. Here's a crazy thing, guys. I shared that video of our band playing the other night, and that wasn't like our greatest crowd or anything, and it's like you're kind of looking from behind the band, but you can hear us, and that was kind of what I was after. But while I was there, there's a sign outside of that building, granite. I'm thinking it was granite, but it's, you know, BPOE post blah 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 and the dates and whatever carved into it. And I was like, I wonder what kind of rock. So I'm such a rock hound that even in town, I'm like, oh, look, a rock, even if it's mounted into the side of a brick building. Anyway, I wondered what kind of rock it was. I wondered if it was a local rock. I wondered if it'd been there for 100 years or only 10. You know, I wondered all kinds of things about this rock in the side of the wall on this building in town the other day. You can take the girl out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the girl. I'm sorry, you guys. There's a little fossil. Just the little guy. Look, he looks like he's looking at you with his one eye there, little cyclops. All right. And I saved this one for last because this was such a stunning piece of petrified wood. Why on my camera will it not look as beautifully radiantly red as it does in hand? Let me try popping the color down on this ring light. Blue's not helping. Yeah, well, maybe that's about the best we can do today where we're at here. That's all right. We'll get some stills of it. It looks red in the video too when I'm finding it. So we'll grab some stills of it. There, not a bad haul for a girl and a dog and a day out on the prairie. Some of it'll probably hit the deck a little bit, but some of it may stay. So there's our schist. There's our glacier rocks. There's a big old septarian. I got to take a bio break. So we'll consider this mess of things my be right back sign. And I got to go fill my coffee mug up. Be right back. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Oh, cool, Slim. We're glad you're hanging. Oh, hey. All right. Let me catch up on the chat while I was away. Awesome. Yeah, it's hard to balance, isn't it? Sometimes, Slim, between focusing on selling things, focusing on making things, focusing on materials. Um, I get torn about 6 different directions because I'm in a band. We have another show the week after next. We've had a show almost every other week now for months straight. So between band practice, finding rocks, polishing rocks, cutting rocks, filming rocks, editing videos, cooking dinner for the kids, mowing the grass, paying the bills, you know, um, it's sometimes the struggle just to keep up. And then, yeah, when do you pump the brakes on one thing to go, you've got to sometimes stop and say, this is fun, but it's got to also make me a little bit of money. Otherwise, it's not worth eating into. Your time is most valuable, right? So, um, for me, this is the best. Like getting to spend time with you guys, and the other way around too. I love spending time in the chat with you guys too, which reminds me, how do you guys take your coffee? Just curious. So, yeah, I mean, it's rough at the get-go, Slim, to try to do sales, especially YouTube. But you've got some great people out there, and even if it doesn't sell during a live auction, if things are available for the replay, I'm sure that one or two of us would reach out to you and get some of that product moving around for you. So one or two pendants here and there is better than a quick poke with a sharp stick. So 2 spoons of brown sugar, oat milk, and iced down. Oh, dude. Mmm. Cream and sugar, lots. I used to do a lot of sugar in mine, like a heaping spoonful, and then I was like, yeah, sugar's really not all that good for me. So I've cut that back. And then just recently I found a cream that I like, and so I quit having sugar in my coffee altogether and put some cream. Today I'm out of cream, so I went back to just a little smidge of sugar in mine. That'll put hair on your chest, Rufo. That's what they told me when I was a kid. Yeah, I've had a lot better luck, Al, selling at some of the tailgate sales or farmers markets or things like that than I have really online. Online is such a huge competitive market versus your local farmers market. And I think when people can get to know your story, coffee. Okay. All right. It's not everybody's cup of tea. That's my second after coffee. I love tea as well. And then after tea and coffee, not gonna lie, my vice is a Red Bull every once in a while. Not a sponsor. I forgot entirely what I was saying, but I've got a game to play with you guys since we did the coffee thing. My ADHD is kicking in strong, buddy. Okay. One of these things is better than the other, but they're both pretty great. Let's have a teaser for the next live and then the following video. Okay. Got to get it good and in there so there's no peeking. Okay. Left or right? Left or right hand? And I'll give you a sneak peek. There's 1 vote right. 2 votes right. 3 votes, that's enough. We're going to do the right one. Check out this little banger, you guys. Okay, that was your sneak peek. That's all you get. And you don't get to know what was in the left hand until we watch later. I'm going to tell you right now, you guys picked the better of the two. But yeah, woohoo, that was a fun walk. This was a good one too. I had I would maybe even call that a dry agate. Oh, snap, I missed it. I'm lighting. Cheater. All right, I'll show you again real quick. Okay, there it is. I like that the banding here too. It's not as in your face as that little bit on the top, but it's cool. And then this end here is super agate-y. It in fact it almost goes to like a druzy, tiny fine druzy, but not quite. But yeah, that whole end cap there is agate, and then this banding running through is agate as well. And that top, I could see that thing looking at me, and I just about had an adult moment like a kid in a candy store. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I do that too sometimes, Rufo. Have to just kind of watch. And I watch and I think, oh, I should get in there and comment on somebody said something funny and I should comment. And I've got a glove on and it's soaking wet. And I'm like, that's not going to happen right now. I'm not peeling this glove off. Could I just keep going here? Oh, yeah. That was a fun sale last night. There was some super cool stuff in there. Mm. Let's see if I can hang out with you guys now. We've watched the Little Rocks. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do, is it? Yes, it is. But, sorry. Sorry about all the noise, and I'll try to not hit any of the buttons and end our hangout on accident. Turn me around. My messy bedhead. Okay, so remember earlier when I said I had to kind of wire wrap this tripod? No, some of you probably don't. To get it to stand up. Now it won't stand up this way. Do I hold it and hang out with you guys, or do I turn you back around and show you more rocks? You probably would rather look at rocks than my ugly mug anyway, but yeah, and I'm fixing on sending you probably another flat rate box. My stuff is probably not the quality of everybody else's stuff. Like, let's be honest. Excuse me. The agates that I find are not as big as the ones they find on the Yellowstone. They're not as pretty. They're not as awesome, but I find some pretty banging petrified woods once in a while. Some stuff that's definitely cuttable. I find some cute little agates, some coral fossils. I find such a mix of stuff, some cool jaspers and septarians and things that they don't necessarily find on the Yellowstone. So, and I was checking out who Loki. I was doing a video out on the beach the other day, and there was like 50 people on the beach that day. What a bummer. Like, I never see another rockhound when I'm out rockhounding. I take other rockhounds with me when I'm rockhounding once in a while, but I have never bumped into another somebody out in the middle of nowhere who's like, hey, what'd you find today? Any luck today? Never happened. I always get first pick wherever my heart desires. So I'll take the smaller stuff, the maybe not as nice stuff. I'll take it all day long just to get out, get some fresh air, and it keeps me busy. I've got plenty of material for cabbing, for wire wrapping, for tumbling. I mean, I could go forever. So, yeah, I've got been digging through some of my stuff. I'm missing some of the chat. Give me just a second. Ooh, Rufo's going live later tonight with 5 brand new boxes of material. Yeah, what'd you get? We gave you a sneak peek. Just kidding. You don't have to tell us. We can hang out. Yeah, so like I say, I'm such a busy girl. I'm bored is an option. If you're bored, that's your choice because there's always something to be doing, learning to be doing, Um, I kind of, like I say, I've got some ADHD and I have a real hard time sitting still for too long. I can barely make it through a movie sometimes. It's got to be pretty engaging to keep me sat down. Um, I make it through a lot of our lives and hangouts. I think because it's engaging, we're in the chat with each other as well. So I think that double stimulation, learning, watching other people's rocks while also engaging with a crowd of my friends. I think that helps. Like, I think I almost need that overstimulation to get enjoyment out of it. On the flip side is I'm very self um, entertaining. I could put my Optivisor on and sit with a box of rocks and look at the fine details in them for hours. And I'll set a bunch of them aside and think, oh, I should go cab those and make make jewelry. And then I never do. And I just rinse and repeat. Put the Optivisor on, look for hours. No, I have a lot of work that's about half done too. I'm terrible about that too. That's another ADHD thing is I've got about 900 projects going on and like 5 of them I finish. So I've got lots of cabs that need wire wrapped. Finished cabs, I've got cabs that are about halfway through polish that I need to finish. So I've got little stations of projects and I just constantly bounce around between and mix rock hounding and music and other things work and other things all into the mix. So like I say, if you're bored, that's a choice you've made because there's a great big world out there and there's so much going on all the time. Go check it out. Go do something awesome. I gotta look over here to read the chat, so I apologize. Al, I'm on the Discord, but I'm not really sure that I'm using it properly or that I'm getting everything out of it that I could be getting out of it. I just like, to me, the Discord is kind of like a newspaper. I get the notifications that come up on my phone, and for the most part, I don't always don't always have time to get to them right now. And so when I do get to them, it's kind of like reading the classifieds in a newspaper. I go through and read all of this stuff, and then kind of close it off and come back to it again when I feel like I've missed enough that I should check it out. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of a group. It again, Rockhound centered people, and they can share pictures, articles, links, upcoming videos, show and tell, um, that kind of thing on there. They can we can share little like memes and cartoons with each other, jokes, that kind of stuff. So uh, it's a group chat app thing there. Mm-hmm. um, yeah, so the it's kind of like a smaller version of the chat in the YouTube here, except that you can share pictures and things with each other. And I'm I don't think I've ever seen anybody sharing videos on there without sharing the link to the videos. So it's not quite like YouTube. And I'm not familiar with any of the other apps, not TikTok, not Insta, nothing. I don't do it. So don't ask if it's like any of those because I don't know. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but it's cool. I like it. There is a lot of really cool information in there. And some of the chats that are useful to me as well are not just like check out this specimen and now you know a new rock or you learned a thing today, but we've done some chatting about how YouTube algorithm works and how to promote your channel in the best way so that like are shorts good for your channel, things like that. So what editing apps do you use? Lots of different discussions happening in there. How do you buy or sell rocks? How do you buy from wholesale? How do you sell an estate? There's all kinds of conversations that you never know what might be useful in there. So if you have the room, if you've got the room for an app on your phone and you've got time for things like that, it's worth checking out. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. I'm going to tease Jeff a little bit right now, too. I pulled a couple new Septarians out of the ground the other day with the sneak peek rock for the next episode. There's a couple new Septarians in there. Just a BB one, too. It's cute. And a pretty big one that's quite flashy under the UV. So, yeah, anyway, like I say, I can't remember who requested the Mendendal Glacier Rock, the Alaska Glacier Rock, if it was Jenny or Jackie. I am sorry. mm. It'll be here soon. Next Wednesday, it'll be here so soon. And we'll look at them. We'll look at them then. Ooh. Rufo got slabs and spears today, Jeff. Awesome. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been up to. Like I say, there's never a dull moment here. I'm a lucky girl in that regard. There's all kinds of recreational opportunities out here, all kinds of things that I can be doing. So, I should have lit my meteorite case up for the live. I didn't know I was gonna turn here on and we'd be talking. It's all bass awkward anyway because I do actually keep some of my other rocks, not meteorites, some of my earth rocks. In fact, the reason why it's all turned around over there today is because I do keep the Mendenhall Glacier rocks in there. Some of the things that have been gifted to me or given to me will also go in there too. So did Tyler went out just the other day and got a new geode haul, didn't he? I should go check. I think I missed a video where he might have went out. I know he was last time him and Rufo did their help me out, what's the name of it, Rufo? It's the name of your guys' collab that you do. Rockhound Rock. What is it called? Anyway, I know on the last one where they got together, Tyler was talking about getting an opportunity to go out and restock his geode collection. So I'm excited to see what he's got. Algold, I highly suggest Topher Spin meteorites. They've got a great variety. And okay, I try to not go on a meteorite tangent every time I have a live, but if you guys have never bought meteorites before and you're thinking about buying meteorites, go ahead and throw me an email, and I'd like to be able to help you make a smart first meteorite purchase. So for the most part, meteorites come in about 3 flavors, for the most part. Let's say for the beginner, when you say I need to get some meteorites, and let's start here. 3 flavors: stony iron, and iron. What about meteorites interests you, Al? Is it the metal in the meteorites that interests you? And the more you learn about meteorites, the more you may change your mind about that. You may decide that the metal meteorites they're great. But there's other very, very cool things. The stonies, the chondrules in the stonies are what I find very beautiful. I'm not actually a metal meteorite kind of loving girl. Pallasites, the stony irons, are quite common as first purchases. I like them. I like pallasites, but I prefer mesositerites. Let me show you one real quick. I'm gonna let go of this. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna have to look at the ceiling for a second, and then it wants to tip over. Okay, pardon the view. My thing is broke. My tripod's broke. So let me grab a couple different pines here and let me show you what I mean about helping you decide what is a smart first choice for you. As a beginner, you're probably not going to want to dive into Martian and lunar and things like that. Oh, you know what? That other 869 that I have too is very cool. Let's grab a miso or two. Do I have another one? Wakamarka, but it's hard to see. Okay, we'll grab that one. You're probably not going to want to dive right into Martian and lunar because it's not the prettiest stuff in the whole wide world to look at. You're probably not going to really be shooting for like carbonaceous is probably not going to be what your first purchase is going to be after because they're dreadfully ugly. They're black, they're basic, but as far as science is concerned, they're the most fascinating. So you want, okay, so Al says that sliced meteorites are what interest him most. Let's turn you guys back around. Sorry, we're going to do the whole camera thing again and with a broken tripod. So let's see if I can get this right the first try. Poor janky tripod. Okay. Thanks for bearing with me here, guys, so we can have this discussion. How am I gonna... I gotta fix this. We got this, right? Come on, little wire-wrapped tripod. Just one more show. Hang in there. One more live, and then you can retire. Okay, as long as I don't breathe on it, it won't fall over. Okay. I don't have an iron here to show you guys, because like I say, I'm not really an iron girl. These two are pallasites. This is the Shoto pallasite. This fell in Montana. And this is an ugly pallasite as far as pallasites are concerned. But the pallasite, what we mean by that is the metal with the silicate inclusions. And it's most often an olivine inclusion in there. However, this one's very rare and the inclusion in this is a bit jumbled. I had to have that though. That's a Montana meteorite. Hey son, in the middle of a live. Huh? In the middle of a live. Okay. This is Springwater pallasite and it fell in Springwater, Canada. And the metal in this meteorite has been etched, which gives it the camosite, taenite, nickel, and iron. They take an etch so you can see the separation in the metals there. And this has got very beautiful olivines. You can see the light shining through on this one. You can see it up here anyways. Flip it over. It's not etched on the other side. And so you can see that metal is just very reflective on that side is all. Gosh, come on, focus. We just want to see the light shine. There we go. Not etched on that side. And so I bought Springwater. It's a beautiful pallasite. It is, in my opinion, one of the prettier pallasites there are. It's a small piece because that's what I can afford. But I bought Springwater because it was the next closest pallasite that landed to where I live up in Canada as Shoto. So it took the place of the Shoto pallasite in my collection until I was able to obtain a piece of the Shoto pallasite, which is like unobtainium. And now the difference between these two pallasites, why this one, this one's so much prettier than this one is. This is an ungrouped palisite, which there are only about 10 of in the Met Bowl, and spring water is more common. There are lots of palisites that look very similar to spring water. They may etch just a little differently or have just the olivines may not be quite as round. That round olivine right there is super cool. So what are you into? Now, if that's your cup of tea, but just out of your budget, may I recommend you look into mesosetierites. The cooler cousin of the palisite, if you ask me. I don't like the solid irons, guys. To me, this is far prettier than a chunk of iron. I love the combination of the metal and the silicates in mesosetierites. And it's like a beautiful brown gold color. There are bits of this that you can get the light to pop through. I think like right there in that little junction is one spot, but not as much as some of the thin cut palisites. But oh my gosh, you guys, I absolutely love that meteorite. To me, that is beautiful. So that, you know, as a brand new meteorite purchaser, you may have never even heard of a mesosetiorite or know what you're missing. You may be like, a what? And is that even a pretty meteorite? Is that something that I want? This is, if you want to purchase a piece of this meteorite, this is NWA 14518. And if you're brand new at meteorites, NWA stands for Northwest Africa, and it's given a classification number of 14518. So you can go onto the Met Bowl and you can search NWA 14518, and it's going to give you the chemical composition that the scientists have. They've done all kinds of analysis. It's going to give you any kind of fun little details about it, information about it. Okay, moving on. Again, spring water. If you want a piece of spring water, you can get a piece of spring water. This is a little more obscure. Again, it's not a palisite. It's not an iron. It is, however, a stony iron. This is a bencubanite. And what I like about bencubanites is that the metal is very round. The metal bits are round rather than the olivine bits. It looks like BBs from space. What's your budget? You know, what kind of a budget are you working with? Are you okay with a smaller sample like this, or do you need a plate? You know, so if you guys ever want to message me so we can have discussions about that, I would be more than happy to kind of walk you guys through a decision. If you're wanting to purchase your first meteorite, me or get a hold of Topher Spin Meteorites. My friend Sue, you guys have kind of met Sue on that video that I did for Katie Did Rocks, for Heart for Rocks. Sue is wonderful at helping people make their first meteorite choice. I'm going to tell you guys, a lot of people buy their first meteorite and that is not what they wind up collecting or liking later. A lot of times they look back at it and they're like, why? And it's just like the worst rock in their collection later. So this is a very common and very affordable meteorite. This is NWA 869. Come on, focus. There we go. 869. And 869 is a cool meteorite. It is a stony meteorite, so it is not known for all of the metal that it has in it because it has very little metal in it. I can't get the metal to pop in the picture. It's got a nice polish on it, but now, oh, you're seeing just like, here's a little tiny bit up here in the top corner. There. One little metal flake up there. There's a bunch of metal mixed into this, but What you see through NWA is called chondrules. These little round bits of space dust bunnies that have been smashed together to make one solid rock. NWA is gorgeous. I've got another piece of NWA up in the cabinet that I meant to grab that's got a big shoop. It looks like a little comet shooting through it, a metal bleb. So the stonies, even the stonies have a little bit of metal in them, but they get more of that other good stuff to look at. They look more like rocks. And they're usually more affordable. I like this little piece. This is one of the first meteorites I bought, and luckily I still love it. It's not got a huge bit of metal in it. There's a piece right there. There's a piece right there. There's a great chondrule in it right there. That's a beautiful chondrule. Another really nice one right about there. Kind of a blue-gray color one. But I love this piece. It almost like self-displays. I mean, you can set it this way and you can see the two sliced ends. You can stand it up on itself. You know. So, and I think, oh, it's on the card. Ouch. Pardon me. I paid $30 for that meteorite, you guys. The self-standing one. Let's see, what else did I grab, you guys? Spring water. I paid $44 for that small slice. What did I say I paid for this one? 30? Uh-oh, my battery's gonna die. Let's not let that happen. Holy charger to the rescue just in the nick of time. Oh my goodness. And now we're gonna have issues with the tripod again. Okay, so $40 for that small piece of spring water. You can get cheaper pallasites. Again, I was location specific. I wanted one that fell near my home, nearest my home. And that was this will take the place in my collection until I can have the Montana pallasite. Okay, so, but if you're not into, and by the way, this one was my most expensive meteorite. Even more expensive than my lunar and Martian samples by far. This is probably one of my most affordable meteorites. My 869. They're very affordable. Very affordable. In fact, I highly recommend if you want to buy a meteorite, make 869 your first meteorite. You will not be disappointed. And if you're more into the metal, I highly suggest a meso. Get yourself a mesoceterite. Get yourself a piece of this mesoceterite. It's beautiful. So I can make all kinds of suggestions. Okay, let me see. Got to catch up on the... Okay, how much do those cost? We covered that a little bit. It's the metal in meteorites varies, okay? It's a lot of nickel and iron and nickel, camosite, taenite. Am I saying those right? And it depends on the meteorite. Again, classified meteorites, you go look this up, NWA 14518, and it'll tell you exactly what the metals and the composition of them are. And it'll tell you exactly what the silicates are and what percent of silicates and things are in these meteorites. So if you're into that, let me see. I've got some NWA or some meteorites, by the way, should come with certificate of authenticity, unless like this one here, it's not classified. So my identification card for that one looks like this. NWA XXX. It has no classification number and no classification information connected to it. It is a genuine meteorite. There is no doubt about it, but it's so ordinary. Look, there's the metal. Out of focus, we see the metal shine just like, okay, we just learned something. We can see the metal shine in these out of focus like we can see druzy shine. So like there's quite a bit of metal in there now that you guys can see it, but there's also quite a bit of the rock that you get to look at as well. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about what these cost, and I'm opening up front with that. We can talk about it. When you go to the Met Bull, Meteorological Bulletin Database, can't even say that word, meteoritical. There's a spot here where you can click your mouse and you can tell it to search Montana or Alabama or Kentucky, or I think we decided Slim is from, must be West Dakota. East Montana? No, he's not. All right, so you can tell it what to search. You can search NWA 869. Whatever you want, you can ask it to search a name. You can ask it to search a text. You can ask it to whatever you want. You can get really refined. Okay, well, I searched Montana on this search, and look at that. There are 7 meteorites in the Met Bull for the state of Montana. So 1953, 1936. I don't even know if you can get pieces of those or if they're literally just like documented. Are they in a museum somewhere? I don't even know. I don't even know. I have a piece of Roundup, which is an iron meteorite, and it's one of the very few iron meteorites in my collection. It's in my collection because it fell in Montana. I have a piece of 2 Dot. It's Montana's only stony meteorite, and it's an H6, which means it's got a lot of metal in it. H means high metal, L means low metal, and I have Shoto, Montana's one and only palisite, and like I say, it's an ungrouped palisite. So here's your basic information on the Met Bull that you're going to see. Now, when you click on one of these, it's going to give you even more information. Let's see. This is all my provenance paperwork on my 2 Dot and my Roundup. Okay, so when you click on this, these are meteorites that are in my collection. This is NWA 7045. It's, was it an observed fall? No, it wasn't. It was found in 2011. It was found in Morocco, and the total piece that was sent in for classification was that big, or at least the total known weight was that big. This is a palisite. It's one of 41 approved meteorites plus one unapproved meteorite that's called a palisite PMG. It was approved on February of 2012. So now we're going to get into this. This physical characteristics: dark interior surface with some oxide staining. Saw cuts reveal olivine set in a dark gray vein matrix. Some of these will get even really, really into it. Olivine, pyroxene. These are common things we find in meteorites. Olivine, pyroxene, nickel, iron. And which one are we looking at here? This is 1179.5. It's a lodronite. So you can get all of this scientific information and sometimes even stories. They were out collecting mushrooms near the village of Dranino. You know, you can get some of the backstories. You can get all of the... So how far into meteorites do you want to get? And how much of this paperwork and things do you want to keep? This is not paperwork that came with my meteorites. This is paperwork that I pulled off of the Met Bull. Any from Kentucky? Yes. I can't recall right offhand how many are from Kentucky, but I think that there are several. So, like I say, get into the meteorological data. This is all one purchase that I made from John Humphreys. here was, you know, a meteorite I paid. This is a Martian or a lunar, though. So you can expect to pay a little bit more for those. So again, there's three main groups: irons, stonies, and stony irons. And then they break down. This is a lot like when you went to science class and they made you do the bug collection or any of those other, like, animals, kingdom, phylum, class, species. I'm missing one. Kingdom, phylum, something, class, species. Remember how they were all broken down? Meteorites kind of do the same thing. So we'll go from, you know, chondrites. This is just the table for carbonaceous chondrites or stony. Is it a chondrite or is it a chondrite? Irons, they're going to have different clans and families. Stonies as well. So there's just like a quick breakdown. That's not the most greatest one, but I was needing some information off of that. Yeah, so, I mean, what are you into? Chelly. Chelly is another fascinating meteorite because so many people watched it enter our atmosphere and it made such a commotion. So, what are you into? I want to show you guys some of this paperwork. Okay. All right, we talked a little bit about meteorites coming with certificates of authenticity, and some of them even come with a chain of provenance. Okay, so these were my Roundup and 2-Dot purchases. 2 Montana meteorites, and this is talking about how it came from McLean's collection and how it got into Terry Hinson's collection. And then this is my purchase information, and this is what Terry sent me. So this is all of the correspondence back and forth between Terry and McLean about the meteorites. Here's even a money order for the meteorites that he had purchased. Here's the eBay listings between Hinson and so these are the original, like I say, original transactions and things. This was a free gift included. And they say in here that this was one that was collected on the famous meteorite hunting show that we're not allowed to say out loud. I thought that was, I got such a kick out of that reading this paperwork. Oh yeah, right here. This is from the very same strewn field that was on a cool meteorite TV hunting show that aired back in March of 2010 on the Science Channel. I was asked very nicely not to use the show's name, so I'm not going to. We all know they're referring to Meteorite Men. So I thought that was cool to have a, you know, I didn't intentionally go out and buy a piece of meteorite that was from the same strewn field as the Meteorite Men show, but I got a piece as a free gift, so I thought that was kind of cool. But I keep all of this paperwork that happened between the 2 prior owners of these meteorites, including the paperwork that I add to this. And then if I ever sell that, all of this paperwork goes along with those meteorites. So that is a chain of provenance. Yeah, exactly. I said I wouldn't do a tangent, but seriously, there's a lot that goes into. Do you guys want to, you know, I did this because Al said he wants to buy some meteorites. You want to just go buy a meteorite? You may be very disappointed later with your first purchase. You don't ever have to jump in like that. In fact, I would suggest Unless, like, there was the question, well, what about my home state? Are there Kentucky meteorites? Go buy a Kentucky meteorite. Even if it's not the most beautiful specimen, you're going to love it. You're going to love the fact that it fell in a place near your home. And meteorites are named for where they fall after they're classified. So if you guys have questions, comments, concerns on that, stay tuned. We'll have another tangent about it later. Or you can email me and I'll try to keep it pretty basic, but guide you guys in a direction so that you don't regret your meteorite purchase later. I did totally, Rufo, yeah. Anyway, a meteorite may fall on your house, but a cool fossil is probably not going to. You're gonna probably have to get off your couch and go look for something like that. I don't know, I guess if UPS drops on your doorstep, you could probably get something like this delivered to your doorstep. So, but otherwise, you guys gotta get up, you gotta get out, you gotta go looking. You gotta do something awesome with today. Because like I said earlier, it's such a great big world out there. There's so much to discover and do. And learn. Now my focus is bad. This tripod too, by the way, I'm holding it with one hand, trying not to tremble. So, yeah, you guys go do something awesome. I will do that. Is it got a cool story, Al? You did an English paper on that your senior year? I wonder how much we've learned since then, Jeff. And that's a cool thing too about meteorites is it's a constantly evolving and changing science. There's always new things happening, new things to learn. So rocks too, though, you guys, it's like, a new claim or something comes out and we've got stuff to talk about, stuff to learn, stuff to cab, stuff to cut. You want to get a piece of that blanket, Jasper. You got to get a piece of that new material. So meteorites can be a little bit addictive in a lot the same way as rocks. So then the next thing you know, you're playing with your UV light out in the middle of nowhere, wondering if the aliens are going to abduct you. Yeah, I would love to read that paper, Jeff. I think that would be. At work the other day, we broke the belt in the vacuum cleaner, and it's like, it's an industrial vacuum cleaner. It's made to do like heavy duty work, right? And I was pretty certain I'd seen a belt for that, like in the top shelf of the utility closet. So I went up there, grabbed this box, and this belt and this owner's manual were sitting on top of this box. And I was like, ta-da! I thought I'd seen that somewhere. So I opened this user's manual, and the pictures, like, look like they were right out of the 80s. And it actually made me, like, cackle out loud. I was like, oh my gosh! Like, I can't believe, first of all, that you still have this owner's manual, but oh my gosh, look how dated this thing is. Agree, Rufo. Agree. My significant other tells this hilarious story about aliens abducting people and probing them. It's not something he made up. It's something he found out on the internet and then shared with me. And it's so funny. And it's like, yeah, we've probed them. They're meat all the way through. And they're like, and it's like, what do you mean they're meat? They're meat all the way through. We've probed them and they're nothing. They're meat. And the other alien's like, what do you mean? Like talking meat? Yeah, they flap their meat mouths and make meat mouth noises, and they're literally nothing but meat all the way through. So I get such a kick out of that cute story. Yeah, we're nothing but meat, you guys. If I were probed by an alien, it would determine that I am a walking, talking meat. You know, meat mouth, meat brain, meat body. I mean, there's some bones in me too, but yeah, we're nothing but meat. Anyway, so yeah, this vacuum cleaner manual made me laugh so hard. Anyway, we my boss said he usually sends the vacuum to the vacuum repair guy when the belt breaks, or that it was plugged once and he sent it to the vacuum repair guy. And I was like, we don't need no stinking vacuum repair guy. We can do this. So with our early 80s owner's manual, repair manual, we did actually repair the belt. So we got her sucking again. We don't need no stinking vacuum repair guy. We're handy. We can do this. Are you kidding me? I couldn't believe he sent it out to get it fixed. You can pay me to fix it if you want to. Anyway, yeah, fat meat. Yeah. So I think that's why we aren't currently being abducted by aliens, is because we're very uninteresting. I don't know, Rufo might be interesting enough for abduction, but I don't know if I am. I've always laughed and joked too when people get on their FBI conspiracy theories. They're listening, they're watching. I'm like, man, I pity the fool who has to listen to and watch me, because that would be one heck of a boring job. But that's, I'm just joking. Ooh, yeah, we are quite a bit water, aren't we? There's a lot of water in us as well. So that might be interesting to aliens. That's what we're interested in as a race and a species. Where's all the water at? Water means life. I don't know how right we are about all of that, but yeah, anyway, so we looked at quite a swath of rocks today. We got onto a tangent about meteorites. We got onto a tangent about aliens and being probed and being meat. We got all kinds of stuff done today, guys. I love it. Love it. Love it. It was a great hangout. Meat soup sacks. Yeah. Yeah. I'm probably sitting at about 7% coffee at this moment too. We have the meats. Earth, we have the meat. All right, anyway. Oh, I love you guys. I love that we can just cut loose, be weird. I love it. I'm gonna look up Jeff on the Discord when I get a minute. We're all gonna tune into Rufo later. He's got 5 flat right boxes of rocks we're gonna go through together. Be there or be square. What else is going on? Anything exciting? I don't think so. It's just a kind of a regular Wednesday otherwise. So yeah, it's mid-afternoon for probably most of you. It's early afternoon here. That leaves plenty of day to go do something awesome. Yeah, Rufo, are you going right after me, or is it going to be later? Do we have time to go do awesome things, or should we flex our social media muscles and go like and tune in for those watch time hours for Rufo? Flex that muscle. Later. Okay, cool. Yeah, so in the meantime, leave a like, leave a comment, go on a walk count. Here's a good suggestion. Go call High Tech and get your flat lap fixed. What else? Get back to work, Slim. Get back to work. Selling and cabin. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll do this again next week. We'll look at more cool rocks. I've got rocks already in line, in queue. And hopefully the weather will cooperate with me and I'll get to go out another time or two throughout the week. We'll see. We'll see if it holds or not. Awesome. Yeah, awesome, guys. I'm glad we got to catch up, hang out. That's one of my favorite parts about going out and finding this stuff is getting to share it with you guys. We've had a couple chuckles along the way, and it puts a smile on my face. I hope it puts a smile on your face. And yeah, stay tuned. I'll have a video out soon featuring me finding all of this, and we'll get some good stills on it. Not these, I didn't find those, but yeah, you get it. Anyway, yeah, go out, check some stuff out, leave a like, flex your social media muscles, and do awesome things. Smile lots, it's good for your health. Drink some water, add some water to your meat package that you are. And yeah, I love you guys. And be cool, do awesome things. Love you, love you. Thanks for watching. Pretty rocks out on the prairie for us to look at. Pretty rocks are everywhere. Thanks for watching, guys.